All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday, November 13th, and we have just a 3-game NBA slate to dive into in today's video. Like we always do, I'm going to dive into each and every one of these games. I'll give you my prediction on the side. I'll give you my prediction on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props that we like within the game as well. But as always, guys, make sure to keep an eye down on the pinned comment of this video. That's where you'll find all of my final plays, so that I'm actually rolling with myself. If that does interest you, if you do want to fade me, all of that absolutely free down in the pinned comment. Yesterday we go 2 and 5. I mean, blowout partially to blame, a couple games getting blown out here in the NBA, but man, oh man, are we just gonna have positive day, losing day, positive day, losing day? I don't know if my heart or brain or anything can take that for an entire season. Pelicans come through for us, and then Ryan Rollins, I feel like we got lucky. That was the last one we placed, and then Giannis, he wasn't even ruled out at that time, is not available to play, and I'm like, oh, now I feel a lot better about that, but still, got kind of lucky, you know, with him going off without Giannis there. Our losses, Spurs -3.5, that looked good for like 2.5 to 3 quarters, but too bad you got to play 4 quarters in this league. Jimmy Butler, same exact thing. When the tide started to turn in that game, so did Jimmy, right? Like, Steph Curry obviously went off, but Jimmy Butler, through like the first quarter, had, 5 points, and I was like, okay, that's kind of on pace to hit the over. We want the under here. And then he starts to get shut down, then boom, he hits like 4 or 5 threes. Did not see that coming. If you rewind, why we liked that play yesterday was because I said I think Jimmy Butler is not going to be able to score in the paint. Well, he wasn't really, but he was able to score from the three-point line. Bad look there. Marcus Smart over 1.5 threes. I actually thought that he got the volume that he needed to some degree, and he may have gotten a few more if they weren't losing by 1 million to the Thunder. So for plus money, I don't necessarily hate it, but was still a loss, right? And then this is the one I feel like we got kind of boned on, right? Jalen Johnson over 14.5 points. He hit that in the first half. And then Nickeil Alexander-Walker finished with 14 points. Multiple times I was watching that game going, oh, he got fouled, put him to the line. They weren't getting the calls. He finished with 14 on the hook. Jaren Jackson Jr., another blowout sort of impact there. I think he plays a few more minutes, maybe hits a couple or one more three. Help us if he doesn't play. But you know what? I think and ifs don't count in this damn business. Guys, wasn't the best night. And honestly, this up and down start to the season is just absolutely crazy. The ride of the day also does not come through. Con Knuckle here, over 17.5 points. He finished with 16. T. Wilson, you and me can share this womp womp, all right? Let's bask in it, bathe in it, whatever hell the saying is, and you know what? Let's move on from it, because we want to turn things around, right? We want to have multiple green days in a row. Now, we did go on a nice little run last week, but realistically, the fact that more often than not we're having a green day, then a red day, then a green day, then a red day. The red days will overwhelm in terms of the bankroll if we keep doing that. So let's lock the hell in here. If you guys don't know what the ride of the day is, it's simple. Use that hashtag ride of the day down in the comments. I jump aboard with one person's play each and every day and give you a shout out in the next video, win or loss. And we keep track of it here too over on the ride of the day tracker. We'll have to update T. Wilson with the L. But what do you say we go ahead and dive into today's slate, guys? Game number 1. Cavs taking on the Raps. So Cavs on a back-to-back here after winning against Miami yesterday, 130 to 116, and they were down a lot of their, players yesterday. No Garland, no Mitchell. Those guys are expected, no Mobley. Those guys are expected to be back today. So I do think that's a big deal. And one thing we're noticing, and not that this should be groundbreaking to anyone, we've noticed it now for a couple years, when these teams like the Cavs and the Heat, they played twice in 2 days, both in Miami, they split, and we've seen that a couple times so far this season. So I'm going to keep my eye on that as somewhat of a trend, that maybe it's a situation we can back, but that isn't the case here, right? These two teams have played this season, but it came back on October 31st, Halloween, and Toronto won 112 to 101. They did have their guys playing in that game, I believe. I want to say actually either Garland or I think Mitchell might have missed that Halloween game, but Mobley did play. He went for almost 30 points. Toronto had 20 apiece from Ingram and Barrett. Where do we go in this one? The first thing I actually want to take a peek at would be the under. I think that these, and we already saw it so far this season, right? These two teams actually match up fairly well in terms of how they like to score and what the defense does. So even using our NBA dashboard, which, guys, by the way, you can find this dashboard every single day at GuyBossesSports.com. Head to the members area, sign up today. NBA dashboard right here. If you use code EV5, EV5, just 3 characters, EV5, easy one for you guys, right? You'll get your first month for $4.99. It's not just for the NBA dashboard. You also get the NFL dashboard as well. So sign up for an all sports dashboard account. But let's talk about a couple things. First and foremost, you can see here Cleveland, points from 3, number 1 in the league right now, right? And it makes sense. They're shooting a ton of above the break threes and a ton of corner threes. Well, this Toronto squad's been really good at defending the perimeter, and I think that's because they have a lot of length in the middle there, right? Ingram, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, like they can cover that perimeter really well. And they're 4th in terms of points from 3 allowed. And even from a field goal percentage standpoint, above the break, just 32.7 to their opponents. Right corner, under 40%. Left corner, 31.3. So the Cleveland Cavs like to shoot. Toronto Raptors should be able to stop it to some degree, right? Now we flip over here. Where does Toronto like to shoot from? Okay, kind of, mid-range definitely is their number 1, which does, again, make sense. Someone like Brandon Ingram on your team. In the paint as well, but outside of the restricted area. And, okay, Cleveland against that mid-range, 33.3% to their opponents, really good. And then just 44% in the paint. So I do think that we have, a game on our hands where you're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole on each side. And we even look at this. Okay, well, pick and roll, right? Looks like both these two teams are top 10 teams in terms of effective field goal percentage and score percent in the pick and roll with the ball handler. Both teams are phenomenal at defending the pick and roll as well. And then we have the same thing, kind of same situation from the pull-up jumper standpoint. Both teams are good at defending it. So, yeah, first and foremost, I do take a peek at an under in this game. In terms of where I go from a side, everything's telling me the Raptors are the play because they've been playing really, really good basketball. They've already beat this Cleveland team outright. But Cleveland's at home now. They're 4-1 at home. They should have all their guys back. I think Cleveland can take this one. 7.5 points is a big number, but it is going to be what I lean towards in terms of a side here. Now, from a player prop perspective, I would say someone like Quickly would be another guy that I look at. This is a guy that is taking those threes on the Raptor side of things, and we just kind of talked about it, right? If we're going to be targeting this Cleveland team defensively, we're not going to be looking at, obviously, them down low. That's where they've been pretty good. We're not going to be looking at them in the mid-range. That's where they've been pretty good. What we want is to target some catch-and-shoot guys, and honestly, I would say that that's going to be either, Quickly or RJ Barrett from 3. RJ Barrett's, I think, averaging like 5 catch-and-shoot threes per game, and Quickly is averaging a bunch of catch-and-shoot threes as well. So that'd be what I look at from a player prop standpoint. All right, we spent some time in that game. Let's go ahead and move on. I know we'll get some damn comments being like, one game and you spent X amount of minutes on it. Answer to that is yes, we did. But let's move on here. We got the Jazz taking on the Hawks here in this spot. Now, this is another interesting one. You do have the Hawks on a back-to-back. They looked really good last night. In terms of minutes played from their guys after winning by 33 points, they were able to keep everyone under 30 minutes played, which is really, really good. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, don't remind me, but only played 21 minutes. Jalen Johnson went for 24, only played 23 minutes. So I imagine they are good to go in a sense, right? This is not a team that should be taking their time and taking their foot off the gas. When they have lightning in a bottle and they're playing some decent basketball right now, I would keep it going. They won 4 of their last 5. They've won 3 straight. And I like them to win it again here today. In terms of how I predict them to go out there and score, I mean, in the paint, I know this Jazz team can be pretty damn sound down there, but overall, I don't really see how sound they're going to be, right? They don't have, especially with Walker Kessler out, I don't think they have the revolving door of big men that they need to be able to stop a Jalen Johnson getting to the rim, right? Or a Porzingis either stretching the floor or getting into the paint. So I do like this Hawks team, the way they're playing right now. If you watched yesterday against the Kings, you'd notice that this was a team that was moving the ball really well, but when they got a mismatch, and this sounds so easy, but not all teams do it, when they got a mismatch or when they got some sort of an advantage on a possession, they literally capitalized on it like you read about. You know what I mean? Porzingis getting into the paint with a smaller guy on him. Boom. He would try to pull up. We saw Ellis try and cover him a couple times, and it's like, yeah, you could put a good defender on him, but if he's a foot shorter than Porzingis, yeah, I got some trouble there. You know what I mean? So overall, I do think Atlanta can take this. I'm just not liking the Jazz in terms of their defensive or even offensive efficiency. Now, you can argue Atlanta's offensive efficiency is pretty damn bad, but from a defensive efficiency standpoint, they might surprise you here, right? 9th in terms of defensive efficiency. My only concern, and at least this is what the dashboard is telling us, is that Utah actually has been really good in transition defense. 48.5% to their opponents in terms of field goal percentage. That isn't all that great because Atlanta does like to run. You have guys like, Jalen Johnson who likes to run and all that. So I guess I worry a little bit about that, but realistically, as long as everyone's playing on the second leg of a back-to-back year, I think that this is a much better Atlanta team than Utah. And hey, I'm not a Utah hater, right? We backed them against the Pacers at plus money last time out, and they smoked the Pacers. So I'm trying to identify when some of these underdogs look good, but this line's just a little too low for Atlanta. In terms of what we have from a total perspective, yeah, it's honestly spot on. I have this game pegged at 234, but I do think there's more ways to get to an under here than there is for an over. And I mentioned how Atlanta has a decent defensive efficiency overall, right? And then I just showed you how the Jazz actually might play some good transition defense. So yeah, I think in this case, I'm going to probably lean towards an under. Even though we have this one pegged, by the way, at 119, 115 in favor of Atlanta, that is going over that 233. Maybe we can wait this out and get a better line, because I have a feeling most people see this and think bad defense coming their way, whereas Atlanta's actually been decent enough this year. I don't mind the idea of Jalen Johnson or Nickeil Alexander-Walker yet again. I think that Alexander Walker hopefully plays some minutes. I know he's coming back from injury here, but realistically, he's still the guy that I want to target in terms of, what we're getting from this offense. He's going to have the ball a decent amount, so maybe points plus assists from him. And then Jalen Johnson, same exact thing. If it's going to be an up-tempo game, I love the idea of him running. And to be honest, I almost want to bring it back to Keontae George. I almost said he blew us. Yikes. He blew it for us last time out, getting in foul trouble. But I think that he might have a decent enough matchup here, because I do think some of those defenders, Dyson Daniels, anyone else, like even Larry Markkanen is probably going to get some Jalen Johnson action, right? But Dyson Daniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I think they may be focusing on some of the other guys, not necessarily Keontae George. We shall see, though. Before we move on to the last game, I want to talk to you guys about Sleeper. You can use the link down in the description or scan the QR code right now on your screen. I'll also put it in the pinned comment. So anywhere you look, you can get Sleeper, all right? And right now they're offering a free $20 entry, no deposit needed, just for signing up. So you can see if you like this app or not before depositing, right? You're going to get that free $20 entry. You will like it. I can almost promise you that. But guys, go ahead and check it out. You'll also get a free square upon depositing. That link will be down below in the description, as well as the pinned comment. If you aren't aware of what Sleeper is, you're missing out. It's one of the best DFS player prop apps out there, and I mean it. They have plenty of lines, alternate lines, promos, and discounts going live each and every day. Check it out. That link, again, will be down below in the description, as well as the pinned comment. You've heard me talk about Sleeper for years, and I've been rocking with them for years because the app is so innovative and so good. Really, really, really recommend checking out. If it is available in your state and you're not on Sleeper yet, what are you sleeping for? Boom. Had to throw that one in there. Go check it out, guys. That link, again, down below in the description, as well as the pinned comment. Let's move on to game number 3 here. We got the Suns taking on the Pacers. All right, does Tyrese Halliburton make this Pacers team that much better? They are so bad this season. I do wonder, and I know they've had a bunch of injuries, but does he make that big of a difference? I want to know your thoughts in the comments, because this team is in such disarray, right? They're 0-6 on the road, 1-10 on the year. Is it the matter of fact that they've had so many injuries, not just Halliburton, that it makes that big of a deal, or is it this team might just be headed in the wrong direction overall? I guess that's a conversation for another day. We're talking them versus Suns right now, and I do think I lean towards the Suns, mainly just for the reason that I think Devin Booker has a really good game today. Now, Jalen Green is listed as out, so I think Devin Booker's going to have crazy usage, and even using our dashboard, a couple things that I want to note here, right? So, in the pick and roll, which Devin Booker runs a ton of, they haven't been all that great this year, right? But you could see here, 30th in effective field goal percentage and score percentage are the Pacers. Same thing from the pull-up standpoint. Yeah, they do that a lot, and they've been good at it. The Pacers don't have a lot of teams pulling up on them, but 24th when it comes to defense. So I do like the idea of Devin Booker doing his thing today, right? And his line's at like 27.5. It is high, and there could be blowout in this game, but let's take a peek at that spread. -4.5, right? Like, I don't think that we're going to see necessarily a blowout that we might think. So I think Devin Booker prospers in this matchup. I do think that he leads the Suns to a victory here. They have won, 4 straight, 5 of their last 6. The Suns team started pretty damn cold, right? And then they're like, hey, let's turn it on now. They've beat Dallas, New Orleans, the Clippers twice, and it was a banged-up Clippers team. They beat San Antonio, which is probably a quality win, and they beat Utah. So obviously there are some teams on there that aren't all that great, and it's like, oh, what are we bragging about for? But are the Pacers any better than some of the bad teams that we've mentioned? They may be worse. What did I say? Are they the worst team in the league? Does Tyrese Haliburton make them even better? Like does he even make them better, I should say? So I do think that you could take a peek at Phoenix in this one. But I think the Pacers may be able to stop one thing, and we should have shown it when we were showing the dashboard here. This is a team that loves shooting the above the break three. Third in terms of frequency, and you can see here, they're shooting it at a decent clip, right? Almost 40%. Check out where the Pacers are actually strong this year, which is crazy because they're not strong in anything. You can even see our weighted advantage in terms of a bunch of categories we look at. It's all Phoenix all the time, right? But no points in the paint coming from Phoenix, and they're scoring all their points from deep. This Pacers team's actually been pretty damn good at stopping that. So, yeah, it might be closer than you think, but that spread is not large enough for me to lean Pacers. But I do think Booker, he's not going to be the guy that's always shooting from 3. He'll get sort of towards the paint and do that little pull-up, which I think could have some major success today. So I like Booker. I like the Suns. In terms of a total, though, I might lean towards a potential under. I'm not fully there. I think I like the other 2 plays a little bit more, but I do lean under simply in the sense that it might be crazy, but I think that the Suns team struggles to score from the perimeter, meaning Devin Booker's going to have to put the ball in his hands, get to the foul line, take his mid-range jumpers, and just go off because most of his assists come at the perimeter. Catch and shoot guys, Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, that type of thing. I don't think they have the best of games today. So, yeah, take it for what it's worth. That's what I'm looking at in this game. And, guys, it's going to wrap it up. It was a quick one. I mean, we still managed to spend 16 minutes talking about 3 games. I know the Guppies are going to hate it, but, hey, after a night like 2 and 5 last night, we got to take our time. We got to turn over every rock. Whether we have a 10-game slate, whether we have a 3-game slate, and hopefully, a lot of you guys that like watching the whole videos appreciate that. And we get the comments all the time. I listen to you on my way to work or on my work break and all that. Like, the fact that you're spending time with me on your daily routine each and every day, why would I want to come on here and make a 3-minute video? You know what I mean? Like, I want to spend the time with you guys in a sense, because I am someone that, yeah, even as a creator and starting Guy Boston Sports, little rant here, FYI, but I think this actually has some value. I understand that I have the camera, the microphone, the setup, the lights, the screens, all that, right? But it's not lost on me, and I've said this to some degree before, it's not lost on me that it takes another human on the other end to make any of this work, right? I spent my years making videos and live streams to nobody. Luckily, we're not in that place right now, and I'm forever going to be grateful and appreciative of that. So, you know what? I really do love those comments and really do appreciate it. I throw out the comments of people being like, this could have been a 2-minute video. Probably if I was a different human and didn't ramble and rant, you know what I mean? Imagine getting stuck with me at a party. I'll talk your ear off. So, yes, I do understand that some of these are rants and rambles and all that. I don't see it changing. We'll try and be more concise, trim the fat, but if I want to talk about the game and I want to get into it, we're going to keep doing that. But, guys, that is going to wrap it up. No need to rant anymore. We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.